Is the US-China trade war over? Here's what the new deal could mean after 145% tariffs. May 12, 2025. The recent US-China trade talks in Geneva have sparked hope for an end to the ongoing trade war. After President Donald Trump imposed 145% tariffs on Chinese goods, China retaliated with 125% tariffs on American products, escalating tensions. The high-level discussions, led by U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and U.S. Trade Representative Jamieson Greer, concluded with both sides praising a substantial progress and hinting at a potential agreement. Officials emerged from the talks with optimism, suggesting a total reset in trade relations. Greer emphasized that the agreement aims to address the national emergency declared by Trump. The swift progress indicates that perhaps the differences were not as great as thought. Despite initial low expectations, the talks were described as very constructive, with Chinese negotiators being very tough. The elevated tariffs have already had a significant impact. U.S. imports from China have plummeted by 60%, with a projected decrease of 75% to 80%. This reduction, coupled with the higher import costs, has led to rising prices for Americans. Goldman Sachs analysts predict that a key measure of inflation could double to 4% by year-end. The trade war has also contributed to the first quarterly GDP contraction in the U.S. since early 2022. China's economic strain. China has not been immune to the trade war's effects. Its exports to the U.S. fell by 21% in April 2025, and the manufacturing sector contracted at its fastest pace in 16 months. The economic strain highlights the urgencies for both nations to reach a resolution. The recent talks mark a significant step towards thawing trade relations, with Trump indicating a willingness to reduce tariffs to 80% contingent on Chinese concessions. Potential for reduced tariffs. Economists suggest that a 50% tariff threshold is crucial for a return to somewhat normal business relations between the two countries. However, even with a trade agreement, prices are unlikely to decrease immediately. The details of the agreement remain under wraps, with officials confirming that President Trump fully briefed. The specifics are expected to be shared soon, offering more clarity on the path forward. Whilst the talks have been promising, several questions remain unanswered. It is unclear whether the case of Hong Kong media mogul Jimmy Lai was raised during negotiations, as Trump had considered. The focus remains on resolving the trade war and mitigating its economic impact. As both nations navigate this complex landscape, the global economy watches closely for the next developments. By M. Ibalsilo Colombia. Story by Andrea Arlet Nabo Herrera. May 12, 2025.